Okay.
Rafa, how are you looking injury-wise?
Okay, more or less fine. Shelby still, we need to check how he progressed. He's doing well. We have lost Clark, that has a problem with his ankle after the game. Fede is fine, and the rest of the players are fine. So Leyen has been training, so to be fair, we have now Jonjo and Clark maybe. And Darlow, and also Darlow still has a problem with his elbow.
So Clark definitely out?
Clark is out, yeah. How
pleased are you with the way the team turned things around and got that win last week after a couple of disappointing results?
I think we are doing well, but always when I talk about this league, the top sides are so strong that when you have a bad run, because you play 2 or 3 of them in a row, then everything seems difficult. But after maybe you have 2 or 3 games that you can win, you get the points, and it seems that everything is fine. So now we are in a good position. Hopefully we can win tomorrow against Fulham, and if we do that, then we'll have a very difficult run again and see what happens.
You kept saying at the start of the season, relax, don't panic. We're playing a lot of the tough teams. We've got this good run until Christmas. Has it gone as well as expected or better than expected to this stage?
It's more or less what we could expect. The problem for us was the timing. The timing when we were losing games at the beginning because we play against a top side, and could be totally different. Winning one game in between Cardiff that we missed the penalty in the last minute. So winning one of these games could be totally different. But because we were losing these games, the mood was quite negative. But now, as you say before, it's quite positive. But still we have to stay calm. Don't panic. I like Dutch army. So don't panic. And then carry on doing your job because it's a long season.
Why would you say you seem to be picking up better results away from home? Do you think your team is suited better to playing these matches away?
Yeah, I tried to explain before. Normally when you play away, the other team is going against you, has to win in front of the fans, then a little bit more open, and you have more spaces, and then you can exploit the counter-attack. When you play at home, it's the opposite. They are deep, organized, normally, I don't say always. Then it's very difficult to find the space, then you make more mistakes and they can play counter-attack. So it's a question of the position of the other teams, and also the main difference is in the final third, when you have to be very precise, very accurate, and if you make these mistakes, you are exposed in defence.
Fulham tomorrow, the return of Alexander Mitrovic. Do you expect him to come to St James's Park with a point to prove?
No, I don't think so. I think he's doing well. So he's playing well, he's scoring goals for them, he's working really hard, so I think he will be happy at the moment, and I don't think that he will be thinking, obviously if he comes he would like to score and as much or as many goals as he can, but I don't think that he has to prove anything because he's doing well, he's a good player, we knew before, and I wish him all the best after this game. That's it. So he's, sometimes a player is fine for your style of play or not. And in this case, he's doing well for them, and he wasn't exactly the same for us.
I suppose for him, though, he was desperate to make it work here, wasn't he? I mean, he hung around for a while in the hope that it would work, and it didn't. So, do you feel he will be fired up as a result of that?
I think what I said before, he's doing well, so he has nothing to prove. I think he will give everything on the pitch because he's a style of play, and hopefully we can keep him quiet if we do well. But if he scores, I don't care if he scores and we score 3 goals and we win the game. That's it. So my main priority is to be sure that the team is in a good position in the table, and that's it. I am not talking about every single player when you lose a player, because it will be impossible to manage. You have to concentrate on what you have. I'm happy with our strikers; they are doing well, but especially I'm happy with our position in the table at the moment.
Do you know what is the earliest date that you could lose Key yet?
Yeah, Key will play this game, hopefully, and after he will go because the manager wants him there the 26th in Abu Dhabi, in a training camp.
Is there no way that you can talk him around and try and keep a bit longer, or does he have?
Believe me, I was talking a lot about that, but no chance.
I mean, he'll be a big loss because he's been excellent for you in recent weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was doing well. And for us, especially now with Shelby injured, was a very good option. Hopefully, Jonjo will be sooner rather than later available. But yeah, he was doing well. He was giving us a little bit of composure on the ball. And now, okay, we have to manage and we will try to do well. Just
finally from me, any update on the potential takeover?
No news on transfers, no news on takeover, business as usual.
We keep asking you all along if the talk in the background has affected the players, but I'll turn that question around. Given the recent performances, it hasn't affected the players, has it?
No, I think everybody's quite focused. So what I said before, not too many players are worried about what is going on upstairs. So they are just concentrated on their training sessions, their football, and we are doing more or less fine. Just.
Rafa, can I just double check Jamal Lascelles? We've seen some photos of him with his arm in a cast this week. Is he all right? Is that just?
Yeah, it's fine. He was playing the other day, so it's not a problem.
So Fulham have turned to Claudio Ranieri to try and get themselves out of trouble. He said yesterday that he thinks you are more Italian than he is when it comes to your attention to tactical detail.
I cannot tell you. My Italian maybe is better than his Italian. Could be because of that, no? No, to be fair, Claudio is a friend, and then I think he did a great job. And what I said before to some people that the good thing is he's a foreign manager. He used to coach. He used to be on the pitch. So that is the difference sometimes when you have an English manager and a foreign manager. That we used to be on the pitch. We used to coach the players. We used to improve players. Then he can do that. He can do that with Fulham. He can adapt to Fulham, and he has experience. So then when we talk about what the manager has to do, the main qualities to have experience is one of that, and I think he can do a good job, and I'm sure that he will do a good job. What means a good job? It depends on the level of the team, it depends on the results, but hopefully we can make things harder for him after winning them tomorrow.
And then just one for me in regards to Alexander Mitrovic. I've seen one fan saying that he'll probably either score a hat-trick or get sent off. And I guess in a way that kind of sums up the character he is as well as the player.
Yeah, I think it's in football or in life, but especially in football, it's important to understand the context of every situation. So we are talking about Mitrovic here, and it's true that he was sent off in some games, or he was banned for an elbow, things like that. But now he's doing well. So he was not scoring as many goals as we were expecting for us. Fine, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good player and he can score a lot of goals for Fulham. So he's doing that. Then he's fine there. He's happier, I don't know, because talking about London or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, he's doing well. The team was playing for him. And then he's doing what everybody was expecting from him, scoring goals and then fighting for each ball. For us, it wasn't the case. So we have maybe a different approach, and then it was more difficult for him. And when you are not playing, you lose some confidence. But now he's fine. So, and I wish him, believe me, all the best, because I didn't have any special problem apart from making decisions in terms of if you play or not. Then if he can score goals, fine. But I would like to see him not scoring against us. Means that we have more chances to win. And I would like to see our team ahead of Fulham at the end of the season. That's it.
And we've seen a big change in the Premier League this week, managerially. Obviously, Jose Mourinho leaving Manchester United. Can I ask you for your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think as a manager, you don't want to see any manager to lose his job. So that is very clear. And the main thing for us is how it will affect our game against Manchester United the 2nd of January. So hopefully our analysis department will be working now on the new tactics and the new ideas, but that's it. So hopefully it will not be bad for us, and hopefully we can get 3 points against them.
I'm just interested to get your thoughts on a wider debate as well, that people, obviously Mourinho, a very successful manager, but people have said that maybe he's not modern enough now. People look at Pep Guardiola at Manchester City and Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool and say, well, if you have money, that is the way you should be playing football in terms of the attacking style. Just wondering what your thoughts are on that argument more generally.
We can be talking about that for hours, so I don't think that for a press conference we have too much time. I think it's you have to win, and you can win playing well. If you play well, you have more chances to win. But it depends on the players that you have. What I said before about Ranieri. Ranieri, he has a group of players. He has to get the best from them. So it's exactly the same for all the managers. We have to get the best from our players, and each one has different approaches. But you have to try to play well, and you have to try to win. Obviously, in a top side, you have more chances to play well and to win. But it's like this. It's not. Each one is different.
And just a final one from me. Obviously, yourself and Jose Mourinho have been in management for a long time. Do you think that you now have to manage players differently in terms of ego, the modern player?
I will go again to Claudio Ranieri, that now I think is 68. That means experience is a key part of the success. So you have to find the balance between experience to manage anyone, to manage a group of players, and try to do things in another way. Obviously, I have daughters, and then one of the main issues is Snapchat and Instagram and all these things. You have to be on top of them all the time, and still you cannot control them, you know, especially Snapchat is quite dangerous. But you have to update yourself. So I mean, as a manager, you have to have Instagram and check, and then what is going on, be careful, don't put this, because the press will be checking, and so and you need to know that, and with players it has to be like that.
That's great. Thank you.
Rafa, we're talking about Mitrovic. He started the season scoring a lot of goals, but hasn't scored that many of late, whereas Rondon is now finding some form. How would you compare the two as strikers?
I think it's not fair because to compare them, because they are different players in different teams at different times. So when I was talking about Rondon, I was saying it's a strong centre forward with more mobility. I think what we were looking for. So when you play normally counter-attack, when you have to be deep because you don't have too much possession, and that is a reality for us. We know that it's like that. And sometimes the striker has to have some mobility, and that is what Salomon is giving to us. So this is the reason why I was keen on him. But he has to carry on scoring goals, because you know, you will tell me in the next 2 months he was not scoring goals. And so I think it's the timing, it depends. I'm sure that Mitrovic will score goals, and hopefully Salomon will score a lot of goals too.
Home form hasn't been great. How much would it mean to you to start winning properly with a good sequence of games at St James's?
Yeah, I would like to win games at home and away. If you are telling me what do you prefer, it doesn't matter. Obviously, if you win more games at home, you have more fans at the same time happy. But if we can get the point that we need, it doesn't matter where. Our form at home also, if you see the team that we play Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, and after some of the games, for me, Brighton was very clear, Wolves the other day with the mistakes. So we could win some of these games, and you can lose the others because the top sides are very, very strong. But still we were very close in all of them, very close. So then, for me, it's just a question of time. Tomorrow that we will start winning and having confidence, and like we did against Bournemouth or Watford, hopefully we can enjoy a little bit at home too.
Obviously, if you get 3 points at the weekend, it'll be a nice Christmas present for you.
Yeah, for everyone here. So I think it's, for a manager, it's always, especially this time, no, everybody's talking about that, but I think for every single fan. So we are professionals, we want to win, but sometimes we don't appreciate that the fans, they have real passion. They want to win. So for them, maybe it's even more important than for us, or maybe the same than for both. Okay, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.